Guys, Broheen here from the Gamers Emporium channel. How are you, and how have you been, more importantly? I've been okay. I have not played Rift in a while, so this is going to be really rough, but by popular demand and comments on YouTube, I have been requested to make a cleric guide or start making cleric guides. So I'm going to give you the official warning right now. I'm going to show you the stats of this character. It's absolutely terrible. 900 hit. So you guys are not going to really be able to see me utilize the most of any of these specs, but I'm not about min-maxing. The point is that I want to get the rotations to you guys, and the first rotation that we're going to be going through is probably the most popular DPS role in Cleric history, and that would be Inquisitor. So let's take a look here. 61 Inquisitor, fill that guy up. 10 Shaman, the 5 points going to go in Dauntless Courage and Vicious Streak, and in Defiler, you're going to use 5 and Open-Minded. Now for your level 61, you're going to use Avenging Shield. This one, honestly, doesn't really make a difference too much which one you use, but this is I use Avenging Shield. 62, again, not really the most important thing. Well, actually, this one is important. It removes the stacking restriction from Inquisitor armor buffs, so you want to be able to use all of your armor buffs. That's what really makes this class work. As well as Faith's Freedom, your Sanction Heretic is now going to apply Vex. So instead of casting Vex and Scourge, you're going to cast Sanction Heretic and Scourge. For your level 64 is Diversify. It doesn't really do a whole lot for the spec, but it's going to stack the damage by 2.5% per stack. Stacks can, only be applied up to once every 10 seconds per damage type, so life and death is going to give you a total of 5%. And for your 65, you're going to use Soul Stream. That one is self-explanatory. It's either a major self-heal or a major damage dealer. So we'll get out of this. Let's take a look at my bar setup right away, as long as I'm here. So the buffs you're going to use: Armor of Awakening, Spiritual Scrutiny, Rage Blight, Vengeance of the Winter Storm, Spiritual Protection, and if you have people with you, you want to use Blighted Greed. My next bar, 3 cooldowns, you have Aggressive Inquisition, Nysyr's Rebuke, and Soul Stream. I also keep a Purge here, which removes 2 buffs. You got Radical Coalescence, which I will go more in detail with that in a moment because that's a huge piece of the pie here. Then I have an AoE and my speed, and then just other things just to watch cooldowns. And then on the main bar, we've got a bolt macro, another bolt macro, a dot macro, Bolt of Judgment, Harsh Discipline, Spiritual Deficiency, Confound, which is an interrupt, Soul Drain, which is an AoE macro, and Bewilder. So this first macro here, we'll just take a look right into the macros, why don't we? So my bolts macro is Bolt of Retribution and Bolt of Judgment. So what that's going to do is when I'm standing still, when I press the number 1 button, it's going to give me Bolt of Retribution, and if I ever have to move and I'm still spamming number 1, then it's going to give me Bolt of Judgment, so it's going to keep me attacking while I have to move out of mechanics. My second macro is Bolt of Depravity. All we do is pair Fanaticism and Bolt of Depravity. And what Fanaticism does is forces the next damage dealing life or death spell to critically hit, and you get a 30-second window with that. But you really don't have to worry about the window, because what's going to happen is you're going to mash this number 2 key, and it's going to give you Fanaticism and a free crit Bolt of Depravity. So you won't ever really have to worry about that. Now with the AoE macro, just on a side note, if you're doing AoE, I do pair Fanaticism with Soul Drain, so that works just as well. But you don't want to let that get in the way of a free crit on a Bolt of Depravity. That's just way more important. The dots macro, Sanction Heretic and Scourge. As I said earlier, Sanction Heretic is going to apply a dot, and it's also going to apply Vex, which is another heavy hitting dot, and then you hit it a second time and it'll cast Scourge. Now your dots are done. Bolt of Judgment is by itself because you want some control over that with the rotation, as you'll hear in a moment. You'll hear that you really need control over the two to separate your Bolt of Retribution and Bolt of Judgment. Harsh Discipline is on the bar. It's not really used too much in the rotation except to keep up your mental resilience, which is a buff you get which grants 6% extra damage. And I will add a side note in here. Harsh Discipline is used to keep it up while you're fighting, more or less. However, you can use Righteous Deliberation in order to start that at the beginning of the fight. However, I'm not a min-maxer here. I'm here to deliver you guys a rotation and a basic idea of Inquisitor. So I'm not going to do that for the video. I know it's something small, but that's just more time consuming, and I'm not prepared for it. So moving on, Confound is an interrupt every 10 seconds, and Bewilder is a confuse for 4 seconds every 30 seconds. And that's basically it. So the way the rotation is going to work is obviously put up your buffs up. Before the fight, you can cast that Righteous Deliberation to get your 6% extra damage. And then the way we're going to start is with, you're going to start with Sanction Heretic Vex, that combo, and then you're going to use Scourge. That'll get up your, we'll do this as we talk. We're going to use both of those, and then we're going to go into 3 Bolts of Judgment right off the bat. Those are instant cast. Then you get a free Bolt of Depravity here. This is popping up on the screen. So you're going to hit this macro. It's going to apply Fanaticism, and then your Bolt of Depravity. And once the Bolt of Depravity is through, then you want to go with your next ability as Aggressive Inquisition, which is what I have right here. It casts basically Bolt of Depravities, and then you want to follow immediately with a Nysyr's Rebuke. This is the major damage dealing portion of this rotation. Hit that Bolt of Depravity again, and once that Bolt of Depravity is done, you're going to hit your Radical Coalescence. So this is going to reset the cooldown on everything, gives me a free Bolt of Depravity, gives me Fanaticism back again, and 4 stacks of Life and Death Concorde, which is what really gives you the Bolt of Depravity. So you hit that Bolt of Depravity again, then you refresh your dots. Once your dots are refreshed, then you're going to use Aggressive Inquisition again and go through that same cooldown block. Once those 2 are done, you should get another Bolt of Depravity. There it is. And then after your Bolt of Depravity is out that time, you're going to use your 1 Bolt of Retribution, and then you're going to use your Soul Stream. After your Soul Stream is up, you're going to hit that Bolt of Depravity again, not twice like I just accidentally did there. You're basically going to re-up your dots again, and then you'll notice you have these stacks of Echoing Concorde. So these stacks of Echoing Concorde reduce the cast time of your Bolt of Retribution by half a second. So you're going to cast as many of those as you can, should take up to 4. And once you're at your 4th one, use that Bolt of Depravity. You'll still have 8. Every Bolt of Depravity you use grants you 2 more of these Echoing Concords. So we're just going to keep doing that to kind of run those out. And then once these are out, you're going to go into a little bit more of a side rotation. So here, when you only have 2 left, you're going to use 2 Bolts of Retribution and then 2 Bolts of Judgment, which are instant cast. Get your Bolt of Depravity, and whenever you're in this block of the rotation, this is how it's going to be. 2 and 2 every time, and then a Bolt of Depravity. So run through that one more time here, and then that's done. By the time you're done with this a few times, you should be getting your Aggressive Inquisition and Nysyr's Rebuke off cooldown. Every time these are off cooldown, you want to go through it and do that. So when you cast your Aggressive Inquisition and Nysyr's Rebuke, you should get that free Bolt of Depravity. And then you can either go into a soul, you can use your dots again, and then hit a Soul Stream, and that, in all theory, should give you, a Bolt of Depravity. And then you're basically stacking these Echoing Concords again. So now is the time where you go back through and use just Bolts of Retribution until you're out of those. Like here, we'll do a Judgment and get the Bolt of Depravity, and now we're back into the regular rotation. Once you are noticing that your Radical Coalescence is back off cooldown, if you time this right before it's off cooldown, you can cast your dots again, and then you're right back into the into the cooldown block of this build. So once you notice your Radical Coalescence comes off of cooldown, if you time it right, you can use your dots and a Bolt of Depravity to start off, and then go through your Aggressive Inquisition, Nysyr's Rebuke, and another Bolt of Depravity, and then continue on with hitting Radical Coalescence. Use the same stuff over again, just like in the beginning cooldown block, and once you're out of that cooldown block, you'll have mass stacks of Echoing Concorde yet again, so you can just go through with your Bolts of Retribution and maintain your dots. So that's about as simple as it gets. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to start a new session since everything is off cooldown. And we're going to actually go through a little rotation here. Now keep in mind, bear with me because I haven't played this in a good while. So I might be a little bit rusty, and I might screw up, and the DPS numbers are not going to be very high because I don't have 1000 hit gear. So let's try this out. So we start off with the dots, use some Bolts of Judgment, get that first Bolt of Depravity in there, use your Aggressive Inquisition, Nysyr's Rebuke, should proc another Bolt of Depravity. Hit your Radical Coalescence, another Bolt of Depravity, get your dots back up, use these guys again. There's another Bolt of Depravity, we'll hit with our Soul Stream. A Bolt of Retribution, there's a Depravity, deselected. And then we get up our dots one last time and start dropping these stacks of Echoing Concorde. Alright guys, well that pretty much sums it up. So what you're seeing is about 32k, 33k, and that is with some screw ups. I apologize deeply for those, but again, I have not played in a good amount of time. So you'll have to forgive me, and hopefully that's that. So if you like the video, please subscribe. Hopefully I explained this in well enough detail for you guys to understand. Inquisitor does get pretty in-depth and a pretty gnarly rotation going on, but practice at it, gain that muscle memory, and you guys will be pros in no time. So thanks again for watching. Any questions and concerns, please leave a comment. Please click that like button because we like you and we like you watching our videos. Tell your friends about us. The only way we can get bigger and better is through your word of mouth. So please help us out. Throw us a bone here. So again, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm out of here.